Lemon juice, refreshing, invigorating, and at first glance, completely harmless. It's easily added to morning water, poured over salads, or used in skincare routines without a second thought. But behind that pleasant taste may lurk danger, especially if used improperly. Every year, millions of people face problems with digestion, kidney function, dental enamel, and skin irritation without suspecting that the culprit might be in their own glass. In this video, we'll examine 10 fatal mistakes when consuming lemon juice, mistakes that can seriously harm your health and in some cases even cost you your life. Each point is backed by scientific research and real clinical cases. Mistake number 10. Dangerous combination of lemon juice with nitrate-containing vegetables. At first glance, pouring lemon juice over a green salad or roasted beets seems like a great idea. It brightens the flavor, highlights the freshness of the vegetables, and is common among those following a healthy diet. Lemon is especially often added to spinach, lettuce, or beets. But this is exactly where a hidden danger lies, one that few consider. The issue is that these vegetables contain high levels of nitrates, substances that normally help regulate blood pressure and dilate blood vessels. However, in the acidic environment of the stomach, especially when interacting with lemon juice, a chemical reaction occurs that transforms nitrates into nitrosamines, and that's a direct path to the formation of carcinogens. The World Health Organization has recognized nitrosamines as substances capable of damaging DNA and provoking tumor growth in the stomach, esophagus, and intestines. The Harvard School of Public Health explains, while nitrates from vegetables may be beneficial on their own, when combined with citric acid, they become a source of carcinogenic compounds. The story of Katharina Müller from Germany is a troubling reminder. For several years, she considered herself a model of healthy living, eating spinach and beet salads with lemon juice daily. But in 2019, she was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Doctors concluded that regular consumption of nitrate-rich vegetables with acid acted as a catalyst for the accumulation of nitrosamines. To protect yourself, experts recommend using lemon juice only with vegetables low in nitrates, such as tomatoes, zucchini, or cucumbers. When it comes to spinach or beets, it's better to dress them with oil, natural yogurt, or just a small amount of salt. Most importantly, avoid repeating this combination on a daily basis. Mistake number 9. Brushing teeth with lemon juice, a path to enamel loss and lifelong problems. Many people view lemon as a universal natural remedy, healthy, safe, and accessible. That's why advice like rub your teeth with lemon juice to whiten them still circulates on blogs, forums, and social media. And while the idea might seem harmless, the consequences can be irreversible. Lemon juice is an acid with a pH around 2.5, comparable to vinegar essence. When it comes into contact with your teeth, it starts destroying the enamel, that thin protective layer without which teeth become vulnerable to cavities, sensitivity, and even infections. The problem is, enamel doesn't regenerate. Any damage done is permanent. The U.S. National Institutes of Health emphasize that even brief exposure to acids, including lemon juice, accelerates enamel erosion. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. suffers from tooth sensitivity, largely due to the use of aggressive whitening products, including folk remedies. A vivid example is Mark Wilson from London. He gave up regular toothpaste and began rubbing his teeth with lemon juice every morning. 2 years later, he experienced pain while chewing, sharp sensitivity, and darkening of the teeth. A dentist confirmed the enamel was nearly destroyed, several teeth had to be removed, and the rest were capped. Recovery took years, but the enamel was gone for good. To avoid repeating his mistake, remember, lemon juice is not toothpaste. There are safe, professionally tested whitening methods. If you still drink lemon water, rinse your mouth with plain water immediately afterward, and under no circumstances brush your teeth within the next 30 minutes. Acids should not remain on tooth surfaces for long. Children, teenagers, and the elderly, whose enamel is already thinner, are especially at risk. So before trying another healthy internet tip, remember Mark's story and understand, your teeth aren't a testing ground. It's better to preserve what cannot be restored. Mistake number 8. Lemon juice with sugar in calcium deficiency, a slow blow to bones and blood vessels. Lemon with sugar sound fresh and classic, especially in summer. A bit of juice, a touch of sweetness, ice, and it feels like health itself flows through your veins. But dig a little deeper, and this combination can deliver a slow and subtle blow to your bones, particularly for those who already have a calcium deficiency, and most people over 40 do, though many don't realize it. Let's start with the sugar. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warn nearly 40% of American adults are overweight, not because of fat, but because of sugar. When just a couple of teaspoons of sugar are added to lemon juice, it already burdens the pancreas. Glucose spikes sharply, insulin follows, and the body becomes overwhelmed. And if it's hot outside, the situation gets even worse. Even more dangerous is the fact that citric acid increases calcium excretion from the body. Harvard scientists have shown that with constant consumption of acidic beverages, especially with sugar, bone tissue literally loses its strength. First come lower back pains, then brittle bones, and eventually osteoporosis. Anything can break, from a vertebra to a hip, even with minimal strain. Lisa Martinez from Mexico drank lemon water with sugar every day, believing it was the key to health. She avoided dairy products. The result: osteoporosis, microfractures in bones, and a hip fracture after a simple walk. What started as a healthy drink ended with surgery and a long rehabilitation. To prevent this, doctors advise replacing sugar with honey or stevia, regularly checking bone density, and including calcium-rich foods in your diet: sesame, broccoli, dairy products. And most importantly, remember, even what seems natural and harmless can cause harm if used without moderation. Mistake number 7: adding lemon juice to grilled meat marinades. Marinating meat with lemon juice is almost a tradition. The acidity seems to make the meat tender, the flavor richer, and supposedly healthier, thanks to vitamin C, natural ingredients, and all that. Lemon is especially popular before grilling. But right here lies a serious danger that almost no one considers. When meat marinated in lemon juice hits hot coals or a grill, a dangerous reaction begins. The acid comes into contact with proteins and fats, and under high temperature, heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are formed. These are officially recognized carcinogens. They penetrate the stomach, intestines, pancreas, and even breast tissue, triggering processes that can lead to cancer. It's especially harmful when juice and fat from the meat drip directly onto the flames, creating smoke that settles back onto the food. You breathe it in, you eat it, and with each instance, the level of harmful substances in your body increases. That's what happened to Carlos Rodriguez from Brazil. He hosted barbecues every week, and every recipe included lemon. After a few years, stomach pain, followed by a diagnosis: stomach cancer. Doctors concluded that the main cause was frequent consumption of acid-marinated meat cooked over open flame. To avoid this, simply skip lemon juice in grill marinades. Replace it with garlic, rosemary, or thyme. They not only add flavor, but also reduce the formation of harmful compounds. Also, cook in foil to keep fat from dripping onto the coals. And diversify your menu. Add stewed, boiled, and baked dishes alongside grilled ones. Sometimes what seems like a harmless culinary habit turns out to be a slow road to serious illness. Mistake number 6: excessive consumption of lemon juice with hypertension and adding it to salty dishes. Many people consider lemon juice an essential part of a healthy diet. It adds brightness to salads, marinades, and fish. But if you suffer from hypertension, you should be cautious. Seemingly harmless lemon juice, rich in vitamin C, can turn into a serious threat, especially when consumed with salty food. The fact is that citric acid stimulates the production of gastric juice and may cause fluid retention in the body. And if you add a large amount of salt to that, it becomes a dangerous combination. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control state that salt alone already raises blood pressure, but when combined with acid, the risk of a hypertensive crisis increases significantly. The American Heart Association claims that this combination increases the strain on the heart and blood vessels, which can lead to a stroke or heart attack. It's especially dangerous if you enjoy salty fish with lemon or canned meat with citrus dressing. The story of Maria Lopez from Spain illustrates this well. She adored Mediterranean cuisine and often prepared dishes with salt and lemon juice. After a lunch with canned fish, she felt unwell, chest pain, dizziness. Doctors diagnosed a hypertensive crisis and a minor stroke. The cause, the seemingly innocent combination of salt and lemon. To avoid such situations, it's advisable to either reduce salt or avoid lemon juice in these meals. It's healthier to replace salt with garlic, herbs, or spices, and to monitor your blood pressure regularly. Mistake number 5. Using lemon juice with kidney disease and in detox programs. The trend of cleansing the body has taken over millions of people. Lemon juice became the symbol of detox. People drink it on an empty stomach, add it to water, hoping to lose weight and flush out toxins. But few know that in large amounts, it can harm the kidneys. Lemon juice contains a lot of oxalates. These are natural compounds that, when combined with calcium in the urine, can form crystals and, over time, stones. The U.S. National Institutes of Health warn excessive lemon juice consumption may trigger kidney stone disease. This is especially dangerous for those already prone to kidney disorders. Add to this the popular detox diets, where a person drinks liters of lemon water and the kidneys are pushed to their limits. The water-salt balance is disrupted, electrolyte levels drop, dehydration begins. All this can lead to acute kidney failure. That's exactly what happened to Jean-Pierre Bouchard from France. He decided to focus on his health and drank 3 to 4 glasses of lemon water every day. After a couple of months, he began experiencing severe pain. The hospital diagnosed large oxalate stones. Surgery was required. So if you have a tendency towards stone formation or kidney disease, be careful. It's better to avoid detoxes and stick to a balanced diet. And if you really want lemon, drink it wisely in small amounts and always consult your doctor. Mistake number 4. Improper use of lemon juice in cosmetic and skincare procedures. Many people believe that lemon juice is a natural and safe remedy for the skin. It is used to lighten pigmentation spots, treat acne, and eliminate oily shine. Just a few drops, and supposedly, the face becomes cleaner, fresher, and younger. But behind this apparent simplicity lies a serious threat. Lemon juice is an extremely acidic product with a pH of around 2.5. When applied to the skin, it can cause irritation, burning, and even chemical burns. The greatest danger arises when a person goes out in the sun after such procedures. This is called phytophotodermatitis, an inflammatory skin reaction to ultraviolet light, intensified by the effects of citric acid. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, are recording more and more cases of such burns, especially among people using homemade lemon masks. Lemon juice destroys the skin's protective barrier, the lipid layer that protects us from bacteria and pollutants. Studies by the Harvard School of Public Health prove that damaged skin becomes vulnerable to infections, inflammation, and premature aging. Moreover, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, warns that regular use of acidic substances without pH control can provoke dermatitis and chronic skin conditions. This happened to 29-year-old Ana Gonzalez from Mexico. She tried to lighten dark spots on her face with lemon, applying it every evening, unaware that it increases the skin's sensitivity to the sun. After walking on the beach without protection, her face was covered in burns, blisters, and pigmentation spots. Diagnosis: phytophotodermatitis. Treatment took several months. To avoid such consequences, experts advise not to use pure lemon juice on the skin. The U.S. National Institutes of Health recommend using only those acids that are included in professional cosmetics and have a precisely measured pH level. If you want natural skincare, choose gentler acids like lactic or mandelic, and always use sunscreen after any acid-based procedures. Hydration, protection, and gentle care. That's what really works. Mistake number 3. Regularly adding lemon juice to hot drinks in cases of reflux. Many people start their morning with a cup of hot tea with lemon. This habit seems healthy. It energizes, provides vitamin C, and aids digestion. But for people with gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, it can be extremely dangerous. Lemon juice is an acidic product, and when added to hot drinks, it sharply increases the overall acidity. In GERD, stomach acid already frequently enters the esophagus, causing heartburn, inflammation, and even erosion. The U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, warns the combination of hot tea and lemon juice worsens symptoms and can lead to chronic damage to the esophageal lining. GERD is widespread. According to the CDC, about 20% of adults suffer from this condition, and hot drinks with lemon further weaken the lower esophageal sphincter, the very muscle that's supposed to block acid. The result: inflammation, burning, pain, and an increased risk of ulcers. Harvard School of Public Health has proven regular consumption of tea with lemon on an empty stomach can lead to the destruction of the stomach lining and the development of ulcers, especially if this is a morning ritual without food and without protection. This happened to Maria Santos, 46, from Spain. She started every day with hot tea and lemon, believing it was healthy. Over time, she developed persistent chest pain and severe heartburn. The diagnosis: gastroesophageal reflux disease. Doctors determined that one of the main causes was the regular consumption of acidic drinks on an empty stomach. To avoid such problems, FDA experts recommend avoiding lemon in hot drinks if you're prone to reflux. It is safer to drink chamomile or ginger tea, and as for lemon juice, either avoid it or consume it in cold dishes and not on an empty stomach. Mistake number 2: consuming lemon juice with alcohol and in cases of chronic liver disease. At first glance, lemon juice in a cocktail seems like a minor detail, a drop of flavor, a bit of freshness. Add it to gin, rum, or vodka, and you've got a light drink. But few people consider that this combination can become the last straw for the liver, especially if there are already existing problems. When we consume alcohol, the liver switches to full power. It tries to neutralize the toxin. Now imagine that, at this moment, we're also adding acid that stimulates bile production and irritates the liver's lining and bile ducts. This overloads the system, and instead of light fun, you can end up with a serious flare-up. The U.S. National Institutes of Health and CDC have repeatedly warned, acidic drinks combined with alcohol significantly increase the risk of liver inflammation, fibrosis, and even cellular necrosis. This is especially dangerous for people with hepatitis, cirrhosis, or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, diagnoses that affect millions in the United States. The story of John Williams from the United Kingdom proves this point. Despite being diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, he continued drinking cocktails with lemon. A few months later, an ambulance, a hospital, and the diagnosis: liver failure. Doctors immediately determined that the cause was the combination of alcohol and lemon juice. To avoid following in his footsteps, doctors advise one simple rule: with any liver problems, avoid acidic additives in alcohol. Lemon is better left for non-alcoholic drinks, and for cocktails, choose neutral and mild ingredients. This isn't just advice, it's a way to save your liver from overload and damage. Mistake number 1: excessive consumption of lemon juice on an empty stomach and with stomach ulcers. Morning silence. The first glass of water with lemon. Sounds like a healthy habit, doesn't it? Thousands of people start their day this way, believing it helps the body cleanse, but few know that this can be a blow to the stomach, especially if it's empty and unprotected. Lemon juice isn't just a hint of tartness, it's a strong acid with a pH of about 2.5. When it hits an empty stomach lining, it causes irritation, and for those with gastritis or peptic ulcers, a real inflammation. U.S. medical statistics show that a huge number of ulcer flare-ups are directly related to drinking acidic beverages on an empty stomach. Research from the Harvard School of Public Health confirms such drinks disrupt the acid-base balance, damage the mucous membrane, and can trigger inflammatory processes. For many people, this becomes the beginning of a chronic illness. This is what happened to Thomas Berger, a 42-year-old man from Germany. Wanting to cleanse his body, he started each day with warm lemon water. After 6 months, constant heartburn, heaviness, and a diagnosis: stomach ulcer. Doctors explained that it was all due to the acid he consumed on an empty stomach, without food, without protection. To avoid such situations, specialists recommend drinking lemon water only after meals, diluting it more heavily, or better yet, replacing it with warm water with honey or herbs, especially if you already have stomach issues such as gastritis, reflux, or ulcers. This is not just a recommendation, it's a warning, because sometimes the desire to be healthier without the right knowledge can lead to the opposite result, and the stomach is not an organ to experiment with. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel and gave a like. If you have something to say or any questions, leave a comment.